Oh, I've made some mistakes. Today I want to talk to you about the biggest mistake I've ever made with my art. And I think it's something that a lot of us do, and we don't understand. We think, oh no, that's not something I do. I think I've spoken about this before, but never to this level. I want to really emphasize this is a bad idea. I don't ever want anyone to do this. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't hold yourself down. Because if you make this mistake, it will just trample all of the creativity right out of you. It's just, you get stuck in a rut. It becomes not fun anymore. And I always say, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. So let's get into this painting, and I'm going to explain exactly what I did. So yes, I am a moron, and I ended up starting this painting without hitting record. And so, but anyway, it wasn't very long into it. It's okay. We'll just start from here. But the biggest mistake that I've made as an artist has been trying my hardest to be known for a particular style. Now, I have spent way too much time focusing on something that I ended up dreading. And the reason why is because I knew each time exactly what I was going to do, how I was going to go about it. It was the same process over and over. It might have been a different subject or a different picture, but it was the same thing over and over and over. And to me, that takes all the fun out of the art. I listened to the lie, and I started to, you got to niche down. You got to be known for a particular thing, or else no one will know who you are. And I started with wildlife art, and then I decided to narrow down even further and remove my background, so I would only use solid color as my background. Then I drank the Kool-Aid even more, and I decided to only do bird art. And I was just only doing bird art. And then I further went down that hole, and I narrowed down to bird portrait art. It just, every time I started drawing or painting, I knew what I was going to do. It was going to be a bird, it was going to be a portrait, no background. And it sucked the life out of me. So you need to understand, for me, art is about experimenting and being spontaneous. It's the only area of my life where I give myself permission to let go and do whatever I feel like doing at the time. There's not many areas of my life I do that. Usually I plan things out. I'm very careful with how I do things, but not with art. I don't do that with art. And what I was doing started to give me anxiety and stress. I started to dread doing the thing that I love to do. Do you know how dumb of an idea it was that I started to hate to do the thing that I love to do? That's just, you don't ever want to do that to yourself. That's the opposite of what it's supposed to be for me. So I decided I didn't care if someone else knew me because of my style or if they knew me at all. I just wanted to create interesting art. So I started to branch back out a little bit. First I started with other animals. Then I started doing landscapes again, some line and wash houses and some character sketching. And then I found the thing for me, doodles, abstract art. And that didn't need to be anything other than what I was doing. So it didn't have to be a thing. It could be whatever I wanted. And I could experiment easily with it. And I could try and make it look interesting or change little things here or there and see if this works or that works. Maybe up the contrast a little bit or put an eye in it and see if that draws people's attention to it. And as a matter of fact, every piece that I do continuously today becomes an experiment. This is an experiment. It may be a failed experiment, but it's still an experiment. And I love what I do again. I think it shows. I have no more anxiety or stress. There's no more battling in my brain about exactly what I'm going to do. It's only the joy and the excitement of creating something that never existed before. And I see it become something that others enjoy as well. And that's what kind of pushes me forward. So that's why I use that motto. If you're not having fun, then you're doing it wrong. That's just how it is. So I want to encourage you to get out there and do something. Just do something different if you have to. Don't worry about, am I going to be known for that thing? Look, if you want to be known for a certain thing, there is another way around that. You may want to do like a series of paintings that are the same way, or like, oh, all these 10 paintings are exactly the same way, so if someone likes it, then they like the same thing. It's recognizable. That's something that you do. I do a lot of these different types of paintings. Like this, I would consider this kind of like one of those wraparound paintings that I do. But if you look to the left of the page there, on the other side, that's another kind of drawing that I do. That's just something else. And I do many different kinds of drawings, and I could probably put them together in a series and show you all of one or all of another. But I don't just limit myself to only that thing at all the time like that. I need to be able to just say, oh, you know what, today I'm in the mood to do one of these, and I do one of those. And that's just how it is for me. So I do encourage you to do that. Just branch out a little bit. Let people just see everything you're capable of doing, because you'll have people latch on to different things that other people won't, but those other people might like something else you're doing. So I would just say, go ahead and do that. Just try and experiment a little bit and do multiple different things. See what you enjoy doing, and that's really the most important part. Do what you enjoy doing. Don't be stuck in your head that you have to only do one kind of art. Now, if you're getting any value out of this video at all, please consider going down below and subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Now, after hearing me say that, and probably listening to almost any video that I have ever done, you may say to yourself, Pete, when you talk, you sound so matter-of-fact, like it has to be this way, and that's the only way that it could possibly be. But the reason that I talk like that, I'm not saying that that's true. I'm actually not as closed-minded as you may think, but being open-minded entirely is one of the worst things I think you could be. And let me explain this, though. Just hear me out before you freak out at me. Now, you need to be open to discussion. That I completely agree with, but you need to stand on what you actually understand and what you're firm on. If you don't, then everyone's going to change your mind continuously. You'll be tossed around like a balloon in the wind. You'll have no idea what's going on. You can't defend anything because you'll say something, someone else will contradict it. You have nothing to stand on. You immediately go to their point of view. You don't have a mind for yourself. It's better to have a mostly closed mind and know what you know and be open to discussion. I don't mean everything, like whether you should get a chocolate cake or a vanilla cake. There's only one answer to that. But what I'm talking about is it should take a lot of convincing to change your mind about serious subjects. Now, I may be a little extreme with this. I know I'm taking full responsibility for that. I know where I stand with this, and that sometimes it's a weakness for me because I am so resolute in so many things. But when I was faced with a very serious point of view in my life, and I'm not going to mention what it is, it has nothing to do with this conversation at all, but I was faced with a very strong argument, and I argued with this point for 3 years. I want you to hear that. I argued this point for 3 years, and it led me to realize that the other position was flawlessly consistent. But in order to argue, I was continuously becoming inconsistent with my own argument, which, if you've ever heard the saying, an inconsistent argument is a failed argument. You can't be inconsistent with something. If I say I like the color blue, and then you show me the color blue, and I say, oh, I hate that color, I'm inconsistent. I just told you I loved it, and now I'm telling you I don't like it. Now, this was a painful transition for me. But it helped me maintain my stance now, because now that I see that argument for what it is, I can defend against all the other arguments against it because I already made them. But I've met people who are easily swayed from position to position. I mean with almost no effort. I've talked to someone and then they see it from my point of view. They go talk to someone else, then they switch their point of view to their point of view. They come back to talk to me. They've got that person's point of view until I talk to them, then they switch back to my point of view. That's a terrible way to live your life. You should at least be a little firm in what you think and make it hard to change your mind if it's something important. I'm not saying a normal thing I'm not talking about that stuff. I mean something important, like a way that you see life. That's a big thing. And it's hard to talk to those people in any kind of meaningful way. It's almost as bad as people who defend a position without understanding it whatsoever. They don't even understand the arguments against it. They just have no idea. They make a claim and they can't defend it, but they won't budge at all, even if you can prove them wrong easily. They just start yelling like lunatics and they raise their voice. They may even insult you and whatever. Don't do that kind of stuff. It's not good. And I only bring this up because of how strongly I talk about so many different subjects with art. I have very strong opinions about things, but I've thought about them quite a bit. And sometimes people like to question my point of view, and I don't have a problem with that. I am very open for discussion. I encourage discussion. It's just not going to be easy to change my mind about something. So when I say something, you can disagree with it. There's nothing wrong with that. I fully respect your ability to disagree, to understand your own point of view, and disagree. Just don't expect to change my mind so easily. I'm not saying that it won't happen. It'll just take a long time. So thumb up the video if you are going to go ahead and try something new and do something that you're not used to doing and not care about whether or not someone recognizes that it's your art. And you're just going to do something that brings some experimentation and brings a little bit of excitement to your life, and just get it done the way that you want to do it, and just say the hell with everything. I'm going to do this because I want to do it. Is anyone even still listening? I'll tell you what, leave a comment down below if you're still listening at this point in the video. I appreciate you very much. Alright, if you would like to join our community, go to illustrationsbypete.com. You can come in, you can put your own artwork on the site and promote it. You can find some inspiration in the free reference photos. You can just use them however you want in your artwork. You do not need to credit me. Or you can come into the forums and talk to some people and maybe give some advice and maybe find a little bit of information that helps you. So come check us out. Alright, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one.